What's up, Mavericks fans? Harrison Graham here for Dallas Mavericks Today. We got some breaking news here on a Thursday morning as the Mavs have extended one of their rotation players. It is Maxi Kleber. Credit to Shams Charania for getting the scoop for The Athletic. Mavericks forward Maxi Kleber is finalizing a 3-year, $33 million contract extension, sources tell The Athletic and Stadium. Kleber was entering the final year of his deal. Now he's under contract through the 25-26 season. Now, we haven't seen the final details. This current contract he was on actually had a team option for this year. We'll see if the last year has a player or a team option moving forward. But either way, 3 years, $33 million. A lot to break down and analyze. We'll bring in producer Jeffrey Cooperstein here with us on today's show. Coop, initial reactions to keeping Kleber in the fold for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I think it was a smart deal for the Mavs. They had to keep a rotation big here. They get Christian Wooden, who's on a 1-year deal. I think it makes sense to extend Maxi. You know, it's only $11 million a year, so it's not like they're paying out of crazy range for him. So it's a good deal for the Mavs, and I think Kleber wanted to stay here as well, so it made sense for both parties.
Yeah, and I think coming off that playoff run where he proved to be a pretty reliable player for a team that made the conference finals, I think he was worthy of keeping in the fold. Because I'll be honest, Coop, before the playoffs, had he not really been a factor in the playoffs, I kind of think he'd be on the Dwight Powell path, which we'll get to later, where he plays this final year out, or maybe they even decline the team option. He's not part of the fold, but got into the playoffs, shot the ball really well, 43.5% from three. You guys see the numbers there, almost 9 points per game, just under 5 boards. Played in 25.5 minutes per game. I think he's, kind of in that 20 to 25 minutes per game moving forward for this team. And I think $11 million for a guy that, sure, he may not shoot 44% from three, but if he shoots 38% from three as a versatile defender, decent shot blocker, that's kind of the going rate for players who offer that versatility in this league.
Absolutely. Maxi is still a valuable part of this rotation, and he did have nights in the playoffs where he would go 0 for 10 from 3, or he would, just be a non-factor out there on the court. But there are also nights where he makes a big impact, and he's one of the guys that the Mavs can rely on. I mean, in the playoffs last year, they had him playing 38 minutes a game because he was the only big that could defend anybody.
Yep.
And that's not what you want Maxi to do. But when he's in that 20 to 25-minute range, he can be very effective.
Yeah, absolutely. And there definitely were a few games where he had to play too much, but I mean, I go back to like that game 2 against Utah. Sure, Brunson had the 41 points, but Kleber 8 for 10 from 3 or whatever it was. I mean, you don't win that game without him, and if you go down 2-0 in that series without Luka, who knows how that plays out. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, because when news drops around the Mavericks, we're going to have you covered here on Dallas Mavericks Today. The latest news, rumors, training camps around the corner, so we've got you covered with all of it, plus some EuroBasket updates. Luka and the boys clinched the #1 seed with a historic performance. Maybe we'll sneak in some Luka talk at the end here when we wrap up, but hit that sub button as we continue to bring you videos. Obviously, this is kind of more what I was talking about, Coop, where the regular season numbers, especially after the All-Star break, were pretty poor for Kleber. He just could not make a shot, but they kind of shut him down for a couple of weeks before the playoffs brought him back, and you guys saw the playoff numbers. So the Mavs are banking that he's closer to the player we saw in the postseason than definitely what we saw after the All-Star break before the playoffs last year.
Yeah, and he's been that guy for most of his career, too. He's been pretty consistent around those numbers. He's hovered around 7 points, and we can show his career stats here in a bit. But he's a guy that you're not expecting to do a whole lot on the offensive end, just kind of get open.
Catch and shoot.
Shoot those threes, baby. He's Dirk, but a way less skilled version of Dirk.
Are you saying that because he's from the same town in Germany?
We'll get to that later. we have a question for the fans about that later.
Okay, a little teaser. That's what we call that in the
But
business.
Kleber's also the ultimate team guy. I mean, he's really good friends with Luka. He gets along with everybody on the court, and he's just a good glue guy to have on the team. So I think this was a really good signing for the Mavs. I know there's some in this office who we won't mention that don't like Maxi very much, but hey, Maxi's a good addition.
You and I have been on the same page. As like a heavier minutes bench guy, like a 20 to 25 minutes, come off the bench, energetic, play multiple positions, shoot the 3-ball well, defend 4s, 5s, sometimes 3s, can switch. Like, he's valuable.
Absolutely.
He's absolutely valuable.
Look, you don't find those guys on trees in the NBA.
No.
I mean, guys who can play defense at multiple positions, guys who can hit the 3, especially the corner 3, at an efficient clip, they're extremely valuable in the NBA.
He's the rare 3-and-D forward.
Yeah,
I mean, that's really what he is.
He's 6'10", and you're getting him for $11 million a year, which is nothing.
Yeah, it's not a bad deal whatsoever. Grade the extension from Maxi, A, B, C, D, or F. think it's a solid deal. I'd probably go B+ here. I think it's a good side for both parties. I think Maxi's got to be thrilled with that contract, especially where he was, a month before the playoffs last year. I think it's fair for all parties. Let us know, grade the deal for us. So you kind of look at where this roster sits, and, this doesn't really change what Coop and I have been talking for months. You still need a third ball handler on this team, but what we've also been saying is this front court should be much improved. You've added JaVale McGee and Christian Wood. You've got Maxi Kleber. And the nice thing about Kleber and Wood is they're both versatile. They can play the 4 or the 5. I do wonder, Coop, where does this leave Dwight Powell? Not just this year, but long term. I think the answer long term is this will be his last year in a Mavs uniform, barring something unforeseen.
Yeah, I would be surprised if he actually made it through this year. I'm sure the Mavs have been looking for ways to deal him because he's not going to be in the rotation at this point. You have Christian Wood, you have Maxi Kleber, you have other bigs that can play.
Is he your fourth big? Maybe
exactly.
He's 10 minutes a game, maybe?
Dorian Finney-Smith is going to play some 4. So Powell is out of this rotation, and the Mavs are kind of following that path we were talking before the show, where the Mavs extended Dwight Powell 4 years, $36 million. That was a very similar contract to what Kleber got this first time. And then his next contract was 3 years, $33 million, which is what Maxi's getting here. So they're following that path. So Maxi probably gone after this contract, but
he'll be 34 by
exactly.
then. So
he was a late blooming player, so he'll be less effective then. But it makes perfect sense.
Exactly. So we'll see what it means for Powell moving forward. But for Maxi, I think this, whether you like it or not, this affirms that the Mavs value him as a part of this nucleus moving forward. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to play 35 minutes a game, but 20, 25 minutes a game, that he's going to be doing that. Like, you pay a guy $11 million, he will be part of this thing moving forward. Now, grade the Mavericks roster as it sits right now. Obviously, this isn't in addition to this year's roster. It's in addition to next year's because he wasn't under contract after this year. Scale it from 1 to 100. I think it's right around, I'd say it's between a 75 and an 80. You lost Jalen Brunson, obviously, but you added Christian Wood, JaVale McGee. When you have Luka, it's at least going to be, in that 80 range. But, Coop, I guess we can kind of finish today's show with this. You still need that ball handler. And I think you and I are on the same page. Like, Dennis Schroeder at this point,
go get him, man. What are we doing?
It's September 8th. Like, if you go out and sign Dennis Schroeder to a 1-year vet min or whatever it is, like, would anyone be upset at this point? Like, he could be like the Kleber of the guards of this team.
Absolutely.
20, 25 minutes a game off the bench.
And the Mavs brass has been over in Europe watching the EuroLeague. Jason Kidd, Nico Harrison, Mark Cuban have been over there, and they're seeing all of Dennis Schroeder's games. He's played, I believe, 4 of the 5 games for Germany so far. And he's played well, exactly. It makes too much sense for the Mavs to sign Schroeder. Now, maybe he thinks he can get more than a minimum contract.
Good luck. We're entering mid-September.
Exactly. You're 2 weeks before training camp starts. So if the market dries up for him and he doesn't find anything, I could see the Mavs bringing him in as that final roster spot. But it also sounds like the Mavs are keen on keeping that one open for flexibility later in the season.
And by the way, if you get Schroeder for the vet minimum, that's a freaking steal.
Absolutely.
This guy is a legitimate player in the NBA. Like, 2 years ago, he turned down an $84 million freaking extension, okay? Like, he's a good player. So,
which is probably a terrible idea for him.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest fumbles of all time.
Him or Nerlens.
Schroeder.
Absolutely.
$84 million? Come on, man. That's brutal. All right, best player from Wurzburg. We know who it is, but hey, maybe Kleber's watching the show. 42 for Maxi, 41 for Dirk. We all love Dirk here at Mavericks Today, so that obviously is the answer here, but get those 4-1s in. Coop, let's take 30 seconds, 60 seconds. Let's talk about Luka and the boys.
Dude.
What a performance yesterday. 47 points. Was it 7 rebounds and then 6 assists? Played 38 of 40 minutes to help beat France for Team Slovenia and clinch the #1 seed. They're going to play Belgium, correct?
Yes, Belgium in the round of 16
on Saturday. So EuroBasket's heating up. Your boy Luka's heating up. I think he hurt us too, Coop. We were calling out his 3-point and free throw shooting. 11 of 12 from the line, 6 of 11 from 3. Yeah, drop the mic. Luka going off, baby.
Imagine if he did that consistently. He'd average 40 a game.
He kind of does it in the playoffs,
dude,
man.
He's unbelievable, and I speak for all Mavs fans when we say Slovenia is our second home.
Oh, 100%.
So we are 100% rooting for Slovenia to win this EuroBasket championship. Let's go.
Slovenia for breakfast. These 10 a.m. games, loving it. Coop and I keeping tabs. We're keeping you guys updated here on Mavericks Today, which is why you guys should subscribe, youtube.com/MavsTV. Maxi Kleber, 3 years, $33 million extension. Stay tuned for more Luka talk. Until then, we'll see ya.